So let's do... So if you don't have this written down somewhere, I suggest that you do. These are the formulas that you need to remember. I'm going to write down the area formulas. On your notes. The part that you're not going to turn in. What is the area formula for a circle? Pi r squared. Let's do... There are two formulas for a square. Length times width. Does anybody know the other one? Not s cubed. No, that's for a cube. How many dimensions is it's a square? Because listen, a square, the two sides are the same. So if you did length times width, that's 4 times 4. If you did side squared, that's 4 squared. It's the same thing. So sometimes one will do better than the other for you. All right, a rectangle. What is the area formula for a rectangle? Length times width. What else? Circle. Triangle. A equals, I don't know why people forget 1/2. Base times height. A equals 1/2. Base 1 plus base 2 times the height. Miles. What do the two bases have to be? They're parallel, not perpendicular, parallel sides. We got all of them. So those are the area formulas that you need to know. Volume of a prism. So again, if you are struggling with this section, all you're doing is plugging into formulas. So if you're struggling at any point and you don't have these formulas written down, you are not doing yourself a favor. Volume of a prism. What comes first?
Area of the base.
Area of the base. So that's where those area formulas will come in. And then times what?
The height.
Of what?
Of the
entire object. Will the height always be up and down? No. Yes. The height, the capital height, separates the two bases. So you're going to learn one new one today. And it is over a pyramid. But these are the ones that you should already know. These top ones should be review. If anything, you might need to remember trapezoid or memorize it. And then prism, same one for every single problem. So that's why when you said, is there a specific formula for a cylinder? Cylinder is not a prism technically, but it's the same idea of one. The area is pi r squared times the height, so pi r squared h. So technically there is one, but I've broken it down to this so that you do the same thing over and over and over again. If you ever need to remember a cube volume of a cube are the sides cubed because they're going to be a length and a width and a height. Okay? So we're going to move into pyramids. 11.6. What is the difference between a pyramid that a prism is not? It comes to a point. How many bases are in a pyramid? One. And it's across from where they come to a point. So, we're going to do one quick review problem. These are not pyramids. These are prisms. We're going to do one more because some of you don't remember things. Not you guys. Never you guys. And then these are your notes. Then we're going to do one on your classwork. So I suggest you pay close attention. Does it say the word classwork? No. So when it says the word classwork, that's when you do it on a classwork paper. So volume equals the area of the base times the height of the object. So if you're drawing these, you'll draw two triangles, kind of angled away from each other. So what kind of prism is this going to be? Triangular. In specific, what kind of triangle?
Right triangle.
A right triangle. Alright, so whenever you do the area of the base, you should only look at the base in a two-dimensional. So you don't always have to draw it. But this is what I see. I ignore the rest of the prism and I only look at the two-dimensional base. Alright, what sides did they give me of my base?
9 and 5.
9 and 5. Since this is a triangle, are either of these hypotenuse? No, so we're good to plug these in to my area formula. Area of a triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. Can you ever use the hypotenuse as the base or the height? No. Okay, but here we're not given that, so we're good. So 1/2 of 9 times 5. What's 9 times 5?
45.
Half of that is 22.5.
Do you want us to try to draw this shape? Or
That ship has sailed. We're almost moved on with it. All right, so now we're going to plug it into our volume formula. What is the area of the base? 22.5 times the height of the entire shape. The height is what pushes the two triangles apart. So what's that height? 8. So volume equals 180 meters cubed.
180 on the dot.
On the dot. It's insane.
So it doesn't really matter which numbers you use, as long as you don't use them twice.
It does technically matter which ones
say
you
use
use.
9 times 8, and then you said you got that, and you multiply that by 5. You still do the same answer.
You technically do, but not on all of the other shapes. If you use the wrong numbers on the other shapes, then you'll be wrong. Alright, so you see how that red little word popped up? This goes on your class. Okay, so your new formula for a pyramid. It is the same as a prism, except for it's 1/3 the area of the base times the height of the prism.
Wait, so what was the other one? So this is the volume of a pyramid. What was the other one?
A prism. Oh, height of. So it's the same thing. This is a pyramid. So it's 1/3. And then area of the base, height of the object. So it's newer. Yep. So you still need all of the area formulas: the circle, the rectangle, square, trapezoid. What I missed? Triangle. So you'll find the area like normal, the height like normal, and you'll multiply it times 1/3. Okay? So we're going to do this together. Go ahead and turn to your student journal, page 342. You're going to use your student journal the rest of class.
Right.
Let me see if I can get this one on myself. I bet you I get it right. But never mind, I can't tell the height.
You can.
I think it's not.
Remember, the base is a shape. So what kind of shape do we have as a base?
Triangular.
Triangle.
Right triangular. Oh, well.
Well, no, it's not. So remember that a right angle, whenever you see this, this identifies the height every single time. Because this means from the horizontal to the vertical is 4 centimeters. Does everyone see that?
Yes.
So the area of this triangle is 1/2 the base times the height. So what is you can definitely see the base here. What's the base?
Or it's the shape.
6? Yeah, of this triangle, 6. And then the height of our triangle, 4. Doesn't matter what order you multiply in. Half of 6 is 3 times 4 is 12. So what do I do with this number?
Look at it and multiply it by the height of the whole thing.
So 1/3. Area of my base is 12. The height of the entire object. Here's what a good hint to you is. The height will always come to the top of the pyramid. So everyone see how I highlighted in purple? So you see this line at a right angle. Again, that means from the horizontal to the vertical. This is the direct height. So 9. You can multiply in many different ways. Me personally, I do, what's 1/3 of 12? 4.
Four.
Times 9 is 36 centimeters cubed. That is your final answer. All I did in my head, you divide by 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. You could have done 1/3 of 9, which is 3. 3 times 12 is still 36. Either way that you did it. Are we okay with this one? I have to clear the screen so we have room. Any questions on how we found any numbers? Okay. All right, so we're going to do the second. What kind of base? Well, I asked if I could erase it. What kind of base do we have? A square. It's right here. So 1/3. Area of the base.
L times W.
Yeah, L times W, you could also do S squared. Either way, what's 6 times 6?
36.
36. So the area of the base is 36. What is the height of the entire pyramid?
8.
8. What's 1/3 of 36? What's 36 divided by 3? 12, thank you. Times 8 is 96. What is it, inches? It's not supposed to be difficult.
We'll be able to tell them when we get back class or something. Because that's what be going out the window.
So this was for this problem over here. Questions? Comments? Concerns? It's also in your student journal. These two. We good? Okay. Number 5 and 6 in your student journal. What kind of base do we have? Number 5. Did you even count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not. 4, 5. Pentagon. It actually doesn't matter because guess what? You use the same formula. They already gave you the area of the base. This one you should be thankful for. What is the area of the base?
27.
And then the height of the entire object.
5.
5. So what's 1/3 of 27?
9.
9. Times 5 is 45 centimeters cubed. So you should like that one. That one was easy. Yeah. Classwork is literally from your book, so. All right. Number 6. What kind of base do you have?
Square. Rectangle.
Rectangle. So area equals length times width. So 4 times 1, which is 4. And then the height of the entire pyramid. 6. Remember, this is going straight up, so there is no need for a right angle. Okay?
24 divided by
You do not have to yell at the answer, thank you. 1/3 of 24. What's 24 divided by 3?
8.
It's 8. 8, and then remember your units, feet cubed. We okay? Point 1. It's length times width. 4 times 1. good. All right, these are the last two that we're going to do together, and then you're going to do a problem on your own. Okay, so find the indicated measure. So whenever it says find the indicated measure, if you're taking notes, my number one hint to you is to plug in the formula, the area formula. So like, if it's a triangle, plug in 1/2 base times the height. If it's a rectangle, plug in length times width. If it's a circle, plug in pi r squared, whatever. So, what I mean by that, a pyramid with a square base. So it's volume equals 1/3. Nope. Area of the base. Remember, when it says pyramid, you always have 1/3. Times the height. So whenever you see a problem where it says find the indicated measure, you need to write in the formula for the area of the base. So this base is what kind?
Square.
Square. So read the whole problem. It has a volume of 128 cubic inches and a height of 6 inches. Find the side length of the square base. So here is where you need to know both square formulas. Because if you plugged in L and W, what would you think these letters represented?
Length and width.
Yeah, length and width. You would think they represented different numbers. Do they represent different numbers if this is a square?
No.
No. So in this case, you don't want to use length and width. What is the second formula for a square?
S squared.
S squared. So I'm going to plug in S squared and then times the height. I'm just going to write this in so that we can solve for the sides because that's what we want. And there's two of them. They're the same measure. So again, on this bottom one, it asks find a pyramid with a rectangular base. So whenever you're finding a measurement, you're going to plug in the formula. What's the rectangular formula?
LW.
Length times width. If it said triangular base, what would you plug in here? 1/2 base times height, which is kind of like the one you
can't
did.
do a square for no rectangle, right?
No, because these will be different side lengths. It's a rectangle. But squares have the same measure. All right, so gonna keep going. So now we plug in. What is the volume that they gave us?
6.
128. It equals 1/3 times the side squared, because again, we don't know the sides. Denver, stop distracting. He definitely does not need it. And then what is the height? 6. So you plug everything in. I'm going to rewrite it up here because I don't have room. 128 equals 1/3 times S squared times 6. So you can definitely combine on the right. What's 1/3 of 6? 2 S squared. Is everyone okay? I just did 1/3 of 6. It's 2. Continue to solve for S squared. You need to get S squared by itself. It's being multiplied by 2, so the opposite is dividing by 2. So that's what S squared equals. S represents the sides. So did we find the individual side? We did not. We found what them squared is. So what do we do to find the side? Take the square root. So the side equals 8. And it is what, inches? Okay? So number one thing we did, plugged in the area formula. So whatever shape it tells you, you have to plug in that formula. And then from there, we just solve for that missing letter. Okay? Questions about this? Number 8 is a classwork problem. So if you have already finished number 7 with me, number 8 goes on your classwork paper. This is the same formula as the last. So do you remember the 2 that didn't count because you had the wrong formula? So we're going to do it with the correct one. All right, so the general formula is the volume of the first. I told you the correct one. Over the volume of the second. It equals a side from the first over a side from the second. The only difference is it's not supposed to be squared. All of these are in cubed units. It's supposed to be cubed. All right, so volume of the first over volume of the second, side of the first over side of the second, cubed. Is it your student journal? You don't like using your student? That's fine. You could also copy the picture. Okay, what is the volume of the first? Do we know the volume of the second? So V. Do we know a side from the first? 15. Do we know a side from the second?
Yes.
Can you reduce?
Yes.
Yes, you can. I actually suggest that you do. They're both divisible by 5, so it does reduce to 3 over 2. So 15 over 10 is the same as 3 over 2. It's easier to cube that. So we cube next, so 125 over V. 3 cubed, 27. 2 cubed is 8. You're good. Multiply across, you get 27V equals, I do not know, 8 times 120. 1,000 even?
Yes.
Divide by 27. What do we get? 37? I was about to say. 1,000 divided by 27.
37.04.
7 times 7 is 14.
7
It
times
says
7
it.
is
It's 49. Sorry, derp. 7 plus 7. 0.04. Inches cubed. Good thing is I just caught that dumb moment on video. Questions on how to do this? We all feeling good about it? Okay. I know you're not copying his.
Get that formula.
You should be using your own paper and your own format.
Yeah, but I ain't get the updated one.
There's no updated one. Same formula.
No, you just said.
Those are all the same
No,
formulas.
this Marshall right here. This one.
These are the two you're doing on your classwork. To find the volume of the composite solid. So what two shapes do you see here?
Triangle and a rectangle.
A pyramid and a prism. Okay, now
Well, a cube.
you're okay. A cube. So you're going to find the volume of the overall. So you need to find the volume of the cube and add it to the volume of the pyramid. Okay? So you can do one of two things to find the volume of the cube. What is the volume of the cube formula? I kind of told you the cheat. Cubed. It is also the same thing as length times width times height. Same thing. Because what is this side? All the sides are the same, right? 6 times 6 times 6 is the same thing as 6 cubed. Because again, a cube is a prism. Prisms are the area of the bottom, so that'd be 6 times 6, times the height of the prism, which would be times 6. So either way, what is 6 cubed? 216. Are you okay with that? Okay. I was going to do the pyramid next. Because we need to add the pyramid. What is, so a pyramid, formula for a pyramid, 1/3 the area of the base times the height of the entire prism. So the area of this base, what is the length? 6. What is the width? 6. So what is the area there? 6 times 6 is 36. And then the height of the pyramid. 6. See that red line? So the height I just got from here. height. All I do is plug them in. Are we all okay? We're not okay. I'm getting there. What is 1/3 of 36? 12. Times 6 is 72. So the volume of the pyramid is 72. So we did the volume of the cube. So that would be 6 times 6 times 6, your favorite thing. 6 cubed is 216. Volume of the pyramid we did down here. 1/3 the base. The area of the base was 6 times 6 is 36. Times the height is 6. All that makes 72. Add them together, you get 288 meters cubed.